Well, hello there, it's Crazy Cheap Chick. It's another hot, dry, windy day in Kansas. Let's go inside. I'll show you all the bargains I got this week. I'll catch you up on the progress that John Wayne is making on his project. Now, John Wayne is one of those people that says he's going to fix a board on the side of the house, and I walk out there and he's built an addition. And that's kind of how this project has gone. I'll show you the garden, and at the end, I'm going to tell you a story that I think is really going to make you laugh. Come on, let's go inside. I spent $117.85 pre-tax on my groceries this week. About 20 of it is non-food items, but I'll show you what I got. I always start with full price, then sale, and then clearance. And as you know, my weakness is treats, and I always buy myself a couple of treats. So this week, I got this Santa Claus melon. And if you've never had a Santa Claus melon, I'm sure it got its name because it has white flesh and it's really sweet. And the reason I bought it is I wanted the seeds to plant in my garden. I think I still have time to plant these and harvest these. And I planted some Santa Claus melon. I don't think they're doing too great. So we're going to try it again. So this was $4.99. These onions, regular price, $3.19. Broccoli, $1.25 a package. I got 2 packages. I'm finding the frozen broccoli is cheaper than the fresh. And I had to get some sinus medicine. This was $4.99. I got this whipping cream. It was $3.39. I suppose it's my treat this week. And these noodles. Now, I can make noodles way less than $5.49, but all of us have lives, and I don't have the time this week to make noodles, so I bought noodles. Then the rest of this here is going to be sale price. They had this. No chicken broth vegan and no beef broth vegan. This is vegetable broth, but it was only $1 a package. They've probably put a little flavoring in there, but $1 even for vegetable broth is pretty cheap. So I went ahead and got 4 of these. Romaine lettuce was on sale for $2.49. I got cream cheese for $3.99. That's 2 packages in there. These tomatoes were $2.49. And that's the sale items. Well, except for this watermelon was $3.99. And this bag of potatoes rang up for $2.19. Marshmallows were $1 a package. I think that was a sale price. This Bush's beans was 99 cents each. You can buy a can of pork and beans for 89 cents, but these are already ready to go. All you got to do is open a can. And this was probably one of the best deals I found. This Challenge butter, $2.50 a package. I only had 3 left. If they'd had more, I would have bought more because it's good until November of this year. And this was a really good deal. This Edge was on sale for $1.99, and you could buy up to 5. Well, in the toiletries section, they did not have coupons on them. But when I went over to get that sinus medicine, they had an in display of these, and these all had coupons on them for $1 off. So I got all of these for $1. And I won't have to buy John Wayne any shaving cream for a long time. It's probably a couple of years worth of shaving cream. So that's the sale items, and now I'm going to show you the clearance items. I kind of waffled on this big bag of toilet tissue. So I'm not out, I still have quite a bit. I think it was $9.13 for what they say is 18 mega rolls or 72 regular rolls. It's missing 1 roll out of here. And this was regular $13.99, but it is missing a roll. And I don't know, toilet paper is one of the hardest things for me to figure what's a good deal on. And since I live in a forest, toilet paper is going to be the least of my worries at any time in my life when I'm surrounded by leaves. Now I'm going to show you the rest of the clearance stuff. These sandwich bags, 60 cents a package. I went ahead and got 5 of them. I have a bunch of reusable baggies, but they really only work for dry stuff because they're so hard to wash. And then the red nut bags, of course, are always 99 cents. And John Wayne loves poblano peppers, so I got these, 99 cents. This cream $2.89. Today's June 16th, and it doesn't expire till the 24th. I went ahead and got this Starbucks coffee for $5.07. It says it had been $14.49. That's crazy. This mint chocolate Ready Crust was $1.54. And these little things of cheese, which are normally really super high, they're like $5.99 or $6.99. They were marked down to $2.45. This is shallot and chive. I got 2 of them, $2.45. Got another cauliflower for 99 cents. 3 cucumbers for 99 cents. Bananas, 99 cents. 3 green peppers for 99 cents. 3 zucchini for 99 cents. The only meat I bought this week was this roast. It had been $28.59, marked down to $18.29. That's so high. So high. Oh my goodness. Then this Rana had been like $12.99, marked down to $3.78. And this Stonefire pizza crust had been $4.49, marked down to $2.18. So that's what I got for my $117. You can tell me if you think I did okay, or a lot of you will say, you're not cheap at all. And the question is, what are we going to eat this week? Those of you who subscribe to me know I'm not a big breakfast eater, but when I do eat breakfast, it's usually fruit, but I always have coffee. Then lunch is always leftovers and salads. But for dinners, I plan on making a roast and probably mashed cauliflower, maybe mashed potatoes, I haven't decided, and probably some noodles. Now this roast is so big, it'll make 2 or 3 days worth of meals. And so I might have a roast with the mashed cauliflower, potatoes, and noodles one night. Then we might have roast beef sandwiches. We might have vegetable soup. We might have chili, because there'll be a lot of beef left over. The broccoli is just a side, and I don't know what I'm going to have it a side with. Since I got all this butter, I'm probably going to make butter chicken. I have chicken and I have rice. I love butter chicken. It's really high calorie though. And I like to have something like broccoli or zucchini as a side with something like that. Then I'm also going to make a poblano chicken baked dish. And I'll use this cheese and these poblano peppers. And then I've got chicken in the freezer. And we will probably have this pasta with some kind of meat. I've got a lot of meat in the freezer. The beans will just be a side. I may not use those this week. It might be with meatloaf or hamburgers next week. Then I will probably make a pizza out of this pizza crust. I've got green peppers, I've got onions, and I've got some pepperoni, I think, in the freezer. And my treat this week is going to be a cheesecake, kind of a mint chocolate cheesecake. That's why I needed the whipping cream and the cream cheese. Also named cream cheese when you make mashed cauliflower. And then snacks this week will probably be watermelon, that Santa Claus melon. We'll have a dessert. And anytime that I'm really tired and don't feel like cooking, loaded baked potatoes is always my go-to. So every now and then we have loaded baked potatoes. I also have a lot in the freezer I can draw on. So I think I did okay, but you tell me. I listen to other people. I watch other people. Some people do way better than me. Some aren't doing as well as me. I think I fall kind of in the middle. What are you doing here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Putting hillbilly septic tank in.
So what's this green pipe for?
This is the riser for the access to the tank. This is the clean out. And we're getting ready to cut in the outlet pipe on the far side.
Fancy. Don't fall down. Take a picture of mine. Whoa! Almost fell. What a mess. Yeah, this is his laterals. Also, part of the outhouse project is bringing a bunch of dirt over here and trying to fill in this ditch a little bit and hopefully make all of this eventually mowable. I think that's the key to being able to stay here in our old age. I don't know, I don't mind it. Oh, you mean for washing your hands?
Yeah.
Risers in.
And all that wood on top is to protect, so the weight of the dirt and rock won't come onto the tank. It's supported by the steel frame. There's the shower.
So you have to put the cloth down next?
Well, yeah, put the drain pipe in first.
Oh, the drain pipe and then the cloth. Fancy.
Yeah. You'll start by pushing this in, and until you get all the way around there, then you can start taking from that pile to making a bridge across to dragging this stuff over. Okay? Sounds good.
Should have brought your swimsuit.
I know, it's hot.
She could have jumped in for a few minutes. When we were in Kansas City, I went to Planters, which is a seed and spice and garden store, and I got 3 packets of squash I've never grown before. I guess I really like to grow squash. One is a white acorn, and its name is mashed potatoes, so how could I pass that up? Then I had one, how do you think you would say that? Ronde Denise squash? I think it's an Asian squash. And this red curry. Oh, this one's Japanese. And so they all sounded interesting. I'm going to plant them. Then I saved seeds from that Santa Claus melon, or some people call it Christmas melon. It's a white melon. It's kind of a cross between a cantaloupe and a honeydew. It's really sweet and good. But it's called Christmas squash because it lasts till Christmas. It has a really hard rind, and people would harvest it and they would still be eating them at Christmas, and that's how it got its name. So I'm going to try planting a few of these seeds and probably save a few for next year. And then I never got around to eating these acorn squash that I caught in the red net bag. They're going bad. And so I'm going to just try planting it. I don't know if it'll do anything and it's that far along, but probably. I get things growing out of my compost all the time, so I imagine these will probably go. And just look how big some of the blooms are getting in my garden. And I know there's a little yellow squash growing in there. I imagine in a week or two we'll be sick of yellow squash. We'll have so much of it. And sadly, I don't remember what I planted here. But I need to get some of these tied up. It's really important. When they first start growing, they grow really fast. And if you don't get them tied up right away, then they're just going to trail along the ground. And the ones that I just got, I am going to plant here in the center. They're more of a bush type. Yeah, there's some weeds out here. This is called chaos gardening. That's what I call it. Things are looking pretty good, though. Things always look good until you get a squash bug, and then everything dies immediately. Look, there's something else starting to grow. See them on there? These look like some kind of zucchini squash. And I want to give it a good watering before we leave. We're going to be gone a couple of days on a job. Something else starting to grow. Oh, look at that. That's a crookneck squash right there, starting to grow. Now on the outside of the hoop, I did plant some tomatoes. And I think I've got about 30 tomatoes planted. I mean, that's a lot of tomatoes. I need to go get the lawnmower and mow a little closer here. But you get the idea. Things are growing. Just throwing those rotten acorns in here. I'm gonna smash them up a little. This is cheaper than buying a package of seeds, though. And then I don't feel so bad about not getting around to eating these. You'll see. See how there's seeds in there? A lot of seeds. I went to Goodwill, but I only bought 2 things. They're getting so expensive. Anyway, I got this dress. It's called Zappel. I've never heard of that brand, but it's a really good length on me, and it fits under the arms. It was $8.93 for this dress. I also like it has this high neck. And I got this Liz Claiborne top for $1.49. That's all I got. And I don't get to go to garage sales this week because I'll be in Hutchinson, Kansas, helping John Wayne finish that parking lot light job. We couldn't finish it when we were down there because the poles hadn't come in. They finally came in. We're going to go down there and finish that up. I ended up going back to Goodwill because there was a dress I had almost bought and then I didn't buy it. I wish I'd bought it. So I went back to see if I could find it, and of course it was gone. But I did find a couple other things. So I spent $23.68 pre-tax. And with the 11 I spent a couple of days ago, you know, that's bringing me up to $35, $36. But I found this. It's just a blue shell. I don't know who makes it, but it's pretty nice. I like it. This plain black shirt, Tahari. Never heard of them. It's got kind of this mesh here at the top that makes it a little fancier. This gold shell, which I really like because this will go with a lot of stuff I have. And the main reason I'm showing you this is this. I got this Talbot's shirt. It's really soft, lightweight, and it was $10.83 is what it was after the discounts, because you know how everything is. Oh, I think today it was 25% off blue tags. So this was $10.83, but it still had the tag on it. Look at that. $99 is what someone paid for this, and apparently never wore it once. I wish I had that kind of money. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to garage sales this week, but I went to one. My neighbor was having a garage sale, and I stopped by there, and I bought 4 pieces of clothing. This is a Ruby Road. I thought it was kind of cool, this little net material. This Catherine's just plain pink t-shirt. This, these are all Catherine's. This Catherine's t-shirt. Kind of looks like a picnic tablecloth. And this Catherine's plain black shirt. Has some kind of fancy stuff there on it. Well, what do you think I paid for all 4 of these? I paid $1. $1 for all 4. They were a quarter each. And so that's why I go to garage sales. You just can't beat the price. Okay, I know this is going to be super controversial, and some of you will probably unsubscribe after I say this, but I put salt on my watermelon. What about you? Are you a salt or no salt? Sometimes I also put lime juice on it. Well, friends, I'm going to give you my advice on how I save the most money. And it's really simple. You've already figured it out if you subscribe to my videos. I hardly ever go in a store, a retail store, like Walmart, Target, Kohl's, Ross Dress for Less. Unless they're going out of business, I'm probably not stepping foot in there. Because what happens is instead of spending $35, which is what I spent at Goodwill this week, or $1 like I did at that one garage sale I went to this week, I end up spending $2 $400. It is so easy to do. You think, oh, I'm just going to run in and grab the 3 things I need. But you wander around in there. They're designed to make it hard to find things so that you have to search and you find other things. And before you leave, you've got a lot of stuff in your cart. Instead of 3 things, you've got 15 things, and it adds up. And that will break you. Over time, you will spend so much money. Just think if you were even going to Walmart every other week, spending $200, $300, $400, how much money that is in a month or a year. And so that's the number one way that I think I have saved money over the years, is just not shopping retail. I can't remember the last time I was in a mall. I had to order something on Amazon. I wanted some can holders for my pantry. I ordered them on Amazon. It had been so long since I had bought anything on Amazon, I couldn't remember how to do it. I had to get John Wayne to help me complete the transaction. So that's my number one advice, is there's so many things to find at garage sales and thrift stores and Facebook Marketplace. Do you really need to buy it brand new? Isn't secondhand good enough? Learn to be content. That's what I've had to do. I've just learned to be content. Also, the number 2 way, and we all know it, is just to eat at home. Eating out is so expensive. I ate out a couple of times this week, and it about killed me. It was so expensive. So eat at home. Take your drink with you. Take your food with you. If at all possible, you will save so much money. So as always, if you stick around to the end, I like to tell you a little story. I think this one will make you laugh. This happened to me years ago when I was an investigator. And when I was investigating cases, you didn't have just one attorney that you would take a case to. It varied depending on the case. And so I worked with a variety of attorneys. Some of those attorneys are still my friends to this day. I love them. A few of them, they were okay, but we're not best friends. I haven't kept in touch with them. Well, this story is about one of those attorneys. So this attorney was really wishy-washy. And so he would tell you to do something like go find out this or do that. And then oftentimes he would change his mind and you'd have done a bunch of work and it was unnecessary. Just had a really hard time deciding how to proceed with cases. Or he'd have you do a bunch of investigation and then decide that you were going to drop it. There just wasn't enough there. We're not going to pursue that after you'd put all this work in. And so he was a very frustrating attorney to work with because of his lack of ability to develop a clear plan of how to proceed. And so I had a case, I had to take it to him, we'd had a discussion about it. The company we were investigating had been very difficult, not forthcoming, not cooperative. And so we were going to proceed, and he had said that he wanted me to write a subpoena to the company. Now, one thing when I was working and writing subpoenas, I was known for writing a very hard-hitting subpoena. One attorney I worked with said, "Crazy cheap chick, you could write a subpoena that would make people gnash their teeth and break their office furniture." Because as I was writing a subpoena, I would just try to think of every little thing I needed to know. It would be a pretty inclusive subpoena. And oftentimes, I'm sure the business or the attorney got that and just threw up their hands because, answering a subpoena takes a lot of work. So I had met with this attorney, and he had told me that he thought he wanted to write a subpoena. Yeah, go ahead and write a subpoena. Yeah, that's probably what we need to do. Let's go ahead and get out a subpoena. But he was so wishy-washy and would backtrack so often and change his mind that before I went to all that work, I wanted to verify with him that he truly did want me to write the subpoena. So I tippy-tap out my email to him because I always wanted everything in writing, and said, "Hey, I just wanted to verify with you that you want me to write a subpoena to ABC Company." And I immediately get a response back, which was way unusual for him, because usually it could be 2 or 3 days before I would get a response from him. And the response says, please don't send the subpoena. And I'm like, typical. This is so typical of him. Tells me to write a subpoena, then once I go to verify it, turns around and says, don't write the subpoena. And, I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated. So I write back, you just told me you did want me to write a subpoena. And you told me to, get it out right away. I just want to make sure I'm understanding you that you don't want the subpoena to go out. Immediate response. Do not send the subpoena, please. And this guy didn't use words like please either. So I'm like, what is going on? So then I get to looking at it and I'm like, oh my goodness. I didn't send the email to my attorney. I sent it to the attorney for the company. And so this wasn't like a huge deal. It was a little embarrassing to me, but I look back on my work life. I made very few mistakes. I was really good at my job. Everyone makes a mistake from time to time. And we all had quite the laugh in the office about it. And this company suddenly became very cooperative in working with us. I'm like, maybe we should do this more often. Though it was a mistake, it turned out okay because this company definitely did not want to receive a subpoena, believe me. If they had received the subpoena, it would not have gone well for them. Because once you start sending subpoenas, you're on the path to a lawsuit. And of course, their attorney was smart enough to see that, to know that. And of course, it ended up, we had a phone call with him and he agreed to voluntarily provide some records, and we reached a settlement with them, a little slap on the hand. But that's how it works in the law sometimes. But I just thought you would get a kick out of that. I hope you don't make any mistakes this week, but if you do, because we all do, laugh it off. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take it to heart. That's one thing I see people do, is when they make a mistake, it just devastates them. Why? Why are you letting a little mistake devastate you? Everyone makes a mistake. Learn to laugh at yourself, learn to roll with the punches, and move on. Anyway, next week, I'm probably going to have some big news. So if you aren't a subscriber, you probably want to subscribe and learn what the big news is next week. And if you got anything out of this video, if you got a laugh, if you learned a little something new, if you just wasted 20 minutes of your time and enjoyed it, give me a like, comment, share, subscribe. All of those things help out the little tiny YouTuber like me. Anyway, have a great week and I'll talk to you soon.